All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining this conversation. And this is the first of our Fireside Chat show on the Optimal Edge Ajayi or Lalikon. This show is going to be once in a month, and every other time, like when we have this show, we're going to have one young and enterprising person come on the show. We're going to have discussions around business, personal development, career improvement, career development, and the issues that bother us about life, about career, about tech, about entrepreneurship, and the likes. And today, I'm going to have somebody very fantastic on this discussion with me. His name is Julius Omokono. And if you care to know, Julius and myself have known each other for quite about 10 years now. And Julius is one fantastic person in what he does. He's a brand strategist and is definitely very good at what he does. But before Julius became a brand strategist, he had a background in freelancing. So if you're looking for one of the accomplished freelancers from this part of Africa, then Julius comes to mind. And one of the ways to prove that to you is that you go on Google, go search out Julius Omokono, and you're going to see his Upwork profile, what Upwork has to say about this amazing human being. Julius is also an authority when it comes to freelancing. One of the things that makes you consider somebody as an authority in a certain thing, how much they can say about the subject. Julius has a book on freelancing, and we're going to talk about this and much more in this discussion. Don't forget, today we're looking at how to earn in dollars selling your skills online. It's going to be one interesting conversation you're going to be proud of that you were a part of. So let's bring on Julius Omokono and let the discussion begin. All right, hi Julius, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I hear you and I see you.
All right, good. Glad to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm super good, and it's a super delight and an honor to be on the very first episode of Fireside Chat. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. If there's one person I should be having this discussion with, definitely it is you. You know, you remember those years when I used to see your profile and hear that you've made about $50,000 in freelancing. I used to ask myself, is it really true? Is it really true? $50,000? Of course, I haven't also ventured into the freelancing world. I know it's actually, it's possible. A lot of some of the guys that I know in the freelancing world who make that much even in 1 year. Let's talk of you who has more than 3 to 4 or 5 years experience under your belt. So it's wonderful having you on the first edition of Fireside Chat, and it's going to be super exciting. If you're watching this conversation, we're glad to have you here. If you have any question during the course of this discussion, kindly leave that in the comment section, and myself or Julius will respond to them personally. Your comments will not go unattended to that, I can guarantee you. So today again, we're looking at how to earn in dollars selling your skills online. And I'm having a discussion with Julius because Julius has done this over and over again, and if it's somebody that will be able to guide you on how to go about it, then definitely Julius is the person. Like I mentioned during the intro, that Julius also has a book on freelancing, which is Unlocking the Secrets of Freelancing. And there's one thing you would have done at the end of this discussion is that you would have unlocked the secret of freelancing. Hi Julius. So I know a little about the story of the camera, and I know that you were on your path to becoming one of the best renowned journalists to come from Nigeria. And of course, for somebody like you, whom I know, your first degree, you had a first class. Your master's degree must have been a first class, right? So you see, look at the person I put on this show. First class, first degree, first class, master's degree. So you are, I don't want to say, this is not to flatter you, but you're a genius. That's the point. And when it comes to mass communication, broadcasting, I would have thought that you would be somebody who would do so well, in the industry. But somewhere out of the blues, you quit journalism for freelancing. So tell me about that. What was your motivation? What really was going through your mind? You were starting out good, and you looked like you had a bright future ahead of you in the industry. Why did you leave all that for freelancing?
Okay, so even now, when I think about why did I quit, I can't give any inspirational story, that inspired me to just leave my job without a plan. But two things that I know for sure is that at the time when I was leaving, I wasn't very happy with the trajectory of things as far as my career in journalism was concerned, and a lot of that boiled down to, the fact that I didn't think journalism was profitable enough. So give and take, it came down to money. You know, I I'm a lover of certain comforts in life. I want to be very comfortable as far as my economic situation is concerned. I want to have the nice things. I want to travel the world. I want to go on vacations in Paris. I want to go on vacations in the Greek islands. But I figured out early on that even though I was, a very popular, famous, and diligent journalist, I wasn't probably going to get all of that the way I wanted it. And I needed something else. I spent quite some time in 2017 thinking, could I still, create a pathway for myself in this journalism thing that will still earn me as much money as I wanted? The answer, to be honest, was yes. But it meant I needed to do unethical things, and that was something I was not prepared to do. So at the end of the day, I just thought, what the hell, man? This is too much for me to handle. I came to a point where I wasn't enjoying the job anymore because I knew even if I put in my best at the end of the day, my monthly take home pay was not going to be enough to take me home. And it became tiresome going to the office. So at the end of 2017, my contract with NTA at the time expired, and I wasn't having a good time at work anymore. The moment I realized that being a hardworking journalist wasn't going to earn me the kind of money I wanted in this world, it became less exciting for me. The job became less exciting. Going to the office wasn't enough anymore. Going on the assignments I used to enjoy wasn't giving me that enjoyment and fulfillment anymore. I just wanted a guaranteed way of making the money that I wanted so I could live the kind of life that I needed, you know. And it came to a point where I was totally unsatisfied. I was discouraged. I was angry going to work. The money I was getting from the job, wasn't enough to meet my basic needs. I just woke up one day and said to myself, you know what? I'm going to leave. I'm honestly going to quit. And that's exactly what I did in December of 2017. My contract with NTA expired, and I didn't take up the renewal offer that was made to me. And yeah, that was it. Lest I forget, this was me quitting without actually knowing what was next. I wasn't sure what was going to happen in the next week, in the next month, in the next year. But I was done. I was exhausted, and it was time for me to go, and I did.
All right. So why did you choose freelancing?
I think freelancing chose me, to be honest, because as soon as I left my job with NTA, I struggled. I struggled, though. I struggled because this was me leaving the security and comfort of a guaranteed income at the end of every 30 days um, to a situation where I wasn't sure how much I was going to make and when I was going to make my next, income. And so I was basically living from, I should say, almost hand to mouth because I didn't have anything in terms of savings. I didn't have anything to just go by. I thought it was going to be easy to get another job, you know, and I tried. I remember in January I traveled from Yenagoa to Ibadan, slept in the garage in the motor park for one night just to get to my interview the next day, and then I still didn't get a job because the the recruiter said my CV wasn't strong enough to get me a marketer's job. Yeah. So I went through all of that, and somewhere along the line, I had a conversation with my friend. This was in 2017, still before I quit. I had a conversation with my friend, and she said, "Why don't you go online and find people who are willing to pay you for your skill?" I'm like, "What skill?" She said, "No, you're a good writer. You can do graphics. You are, playing with video editing. There are people who will pay you on the internet, and then maybe you could start something from there. Just something to hold your side, as we used to say at the time, the side hustle." So I went on the internet and I did check. I tried various freelancing platforms that I came upon. Freelancer was one of them. Upwork was another one. And those two platforms, I have two very different experiences to say about them. But yes, I found an opportunity on freelancer.com in 2017. So an opportunity for me to make I think $50, which was supposed to be my very first ever amount of money I'll be making from freelancing.
How
It
many
came at the
articles were
price.
you to do?
It came at the price. Yes, I was going to mention the project I found was for me to write 50 articles in 5 days for $50. That comes down to around $1 for one article. And at the time, I think the exchange rate was around 315 naira or thereabout. So I was earning 315 naira for an 800 to 1,000 word article in
Are
2017.
you kidding?
No, I'm
Hold
not
on.
kidding you, man. That was my
One
experience.
article, one article for $1.
For $1, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes,
That's
it
crazy.
was.
Why?
At the time,
But that was the start. So
yes, yes, it was a start, and I wouldn't say I was desperate for it, but I was excited about it because that was my very first time making money on the internet or off the internet. You know, I before then, of course, I do side projects outside of journalism. I was already doing reports. I was already writing research reports for a lot of people based on referral. But that was my first time, attempting to make money off the internet, and I got that opportunity, and I grabbed it with both hands, and I worked so hard to deliver 50 articles in 5 days, and I did. And long story short, I didn't get paid because the client was funny, said the quality of the articles were not good enough, refused to pay me, reported me to freelancer.com, and 5 days after he reported me, used my articles on his website. So it was a baptism of fire for me for my first attempt at freelancing. But yes, that was it. I didn't actually actively go into it. It found me. I had that experience. I almost gave up, but thanks to my friend who insisted, she said, "No, you can do this. Why not try Upwork?" And then I went on Upwork. I tried Upwork, and how many years now? About 4 years or 5 years down the line, I'm a top rated freelancer on Upwork.
welcome to being top rated. But man, the beginning is crazy. So one, you got 50 articles for $50, $1 for
Yes,
one article,
yes.
and second, you weren't paid the money after all of the tour. Man,
Nah.
I can't imagine how exhausting that was. So I'm gonna ask you. So 5 years down the line, how much would
Yeah.
you charge for one article, like the one you wrote for $1? How much would you charge today?
So that article was were around between 600, 800, and some of them were 1,000 words. I think for a 600 to 800 word article today, I would charge nothing less than $100, maybe 150. That's just something I could knock off in 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Man, so after 5 years, you will charge $100, 150 for the same article you wrote for $1 and still did not get paid. So much for growth, so much for learning, so much for experience, and all of that. So now, somebody's watching right now and they are trying to say, okay, you've been in it 5 years, you've made so much money, at least $50,000. Do the maths if you actually have your calculators. I think it's around $600 for black market exchange right now. So that's way above 25 million about. All right, so for somebody is watching and is asking, how do I really make my first dollar selling my skills online? What are the basic steps? What are the steps to take? Give us some 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that we need to take, or somebody watching needs to take if they want to start earning money online selling their skills.
So I think the first thing to note is skills, and that's the core of this entire conversation. How to earn in dollars selling your skills online. So the first thing is to have a skill in the first place. Not everyone possesses a skill. If we're being honest, So the first thing is to identify what skills that you have. That is always the first step. I'll quickly use my story as an example. Before I settled for writing as a skill that I was projecting more on the internet, I started out by selling multiple skills online. I was writing, I was proofreading and editing, I was video editing, I was designing graphics, and then I was creating PowerPoint presentations as well to get paid. Now, I felt that these were things that I could do, and I was desperate to make money anyway, so I put everything on the internet. I made $5 from PowerPoint presentations on Fiverr. That was the one time, or maybe twice I made $10 or something. Someone gave me a video editing task that I couldn't finish because, well, it was very advanced and my video editing skills were not up there at the time. Turns out that the one skill that I was most comfortable with was my writing and my proofreading and editing skill. So I started projecting that more, and that was how I made all the huge sums of money in dollars that I've made via freelancing. So the first thing is to identify your skills. It is okay sometimes to have multiple skills, like I did, but the second thing to then do would be to identify your strongest skill. What is the
All
thing
right.
that you are best at? Because I think everyone is potentially a multi-potentialite, because we are all capable of doing, you know, many different things at the same time, but our strength and our capacities in each of these things are not the same. So if you want to make money on the internet, yeah, the first you must be able to tell which of my strengths is actually strongest, and then that is what you put out there. The third thing will then be to identify whether or not there is a market for the skill you want to put on the market, because it is going to be a huge mistake, because you can to put a skill on the market and there is no market for it, or you go to a market where there is a need for a skill but you do not have the skill. So check out whether or not there is a market for your skill. It can happen that there is no market for your skill. What you must do in that case is to find out whether or what there is a market for, and then find a way to obtain the skill to be relevant in that market. I'll recap before I continue. Identify your skill set, identify your strongest skill, identify whether or not there is a market for your skill. If there is no market for your skill, then you have to find where what there is a market for, and find a way to obtain the skill set to be relevant in that space. The fourth thing would then
Perfect.
be to position yourself to be relevant in this space. Because if you come into the writing space, for example, there are so many writers out there, but the market is, as they say, the sky is big enough is wide enough for all birds to fly and feast. Yes, but that can only happen if you are able to position yourself as relevant in the industry where your skill is useful. So positioning is the fourth thing, and there are so many ways you can position yourself. It can be by niching down. It can be by applying specialization to what you do, but essentially make yourself stand out. And the fifth thing is to market and market relentlessly. It is one thing to be online. There are so many people online, but then how do you go about, you know, getting people to find you? That is where marketing comes in, which means that every freelancer, which means that every person who is seeking to make money in USD online has got to be a damn good marketer. Those five things would be, the initial steps for anyone to take.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so since we're looking at how to earn money online, selling your skills, it therefore means that one of the very important thing in that title is your skill. So you need to have a skill that you want to sell, and you need to know if there's a market for the skill. If there's no market for the skill, then you need to go learn a skill that there is a market for, because that is the only way you're going to be able to connect with people that will pay you for using the skill to work for them. But let me ask you, so let's just bring up a question from that. What are like the top 3, 4, 5 skills, hot skills that people can actually sell now that there is so much demand for? Can you run us through it?
Okay. Can you see?
But
Can
I
you
can
still
see on
see
the
me?
screen. Welcome back.
Awesome. All right. So the top skills that could earn anybody money online right now, I will start with the most basic one, um, which is digital advertising. So
All right.
in 2020, a lot of people heard about, especially in this part of the world, a lot of people heard about digital marketing and advertising for the first time. You know, digital advertising and marketing became a trend because um, everyone and everything was digital basically, and so we needed to find ways of reaching people and getting messages across to them. So digital advertising is one of the hottest skills right now, and I feel as though it's going to be one of the hottest skills in the future. Next 5 years, 10 years, it is going to remain the same. Why? Because um, many businesses are still going to transition from brick and mortar to digital. So many are going to be fully digital, and the social life that we have is at some point going to become fully digital. Maybe not fully, maybe 99% digital. And so businesses have to get their messages across to people. And those who are skilled in pushing business messages and marketing messages to different demographics of an audience are going to be supremely relevant. That is where your Facebook advertising, your Instagram advertising, your YouTube and Google advertising are going to be relevant. So that's number one skill set, and I don't think anybody would joke with that. The second skill set that is super relevant in today's economy would be writing, and not just any writing. Well, writing generally, copywriting, content writing, because as much as advertisers have the capacity to push messages to a wide variety of audience, they need someone to craft the messages that will be pushed to that audience. So writing is always going to be relevant. And I know that this is not a skill that everyone or anyone can just have, but those who are blessed with the skill set, to whip words together, to persuade, to incite action, are going to be are currently super relevant and are going to be supremely relevant in the online economy. And I'm a living testimony. The bulk of what I do stems from writing, and I know for sure that writing is going to remain relevant for as long as the internet is accessible. Now, the third skill that is going to be, or that is trending, that is going to always trend, I think, has to do with data. Okay, before data, let's talk about product management and product marketing. So, technology is taking on different forms these days, and we consistently see that almost everything that we do, almost everything about our lives, is now tech-based. Your banking, your savings, your food, market, everything is now based on technology. And so there are so many different tech-based products or tech products, that are in vogue, that are trendy today. The fintech, for example, is one of the hottest sectors or industries in the world economy, and that is simply because they've been able to come up with multiple products, multiple tech products that make it possible for financial services to be accessible to a lot of people across the world. Now, for someone who wants to make money off the internet, it is a fantastic idea to know how to conceive products, to know how to design products. I'm talking about tech products now. To know how to manage the product design and production process, and know how to manage tech products as well. So, product management, product design, and product marketing has got to be a very, very important aspect or a very important skill to have in 2022 and in the coming years. And then maybe a fourth one would be artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is what I would call an advanced tech skill to have, but it is by no means, too advanced for anyone who wants to make money off the internet to have. A lot of the things that we witness in the global marketplace today, are powered by AI. Your things as simple as websites, things as simple as
the software, the applications.
A lot of these things are artificial intelligence powered. And I remember a few years ago there were fears. Even up to now, there are still some theories who say that robots are going to take a lot of jobs from humans in the near future. Now, these are things that are powered by artificial intelligence, and within artificial intelligence, you have your data management, you have your data visualization,
data analysis.
So many aspects of artificial intelligence that anybody could key into. But owning or having a skill within artificial intelligence is a hot skill in 2022. And the final one has to do with blockchain technology.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I hear a lot of people talk about cryptocurrency and how it is important to buy the dip. I know a lot of people lose money, trading cryptocurrency. But I think that in this part of the world, it is not very amusing that the understanding we have of cryptocurrency is limited to the cryptocurrencies themselves. There is not a lot of emphasis on understanding the technology that powers cryptocurrency, which is the blockchain technology. And the way things are going in that space, there is going to come a time in the not too distant future. Um, some futurists have said in the next 5 years, that we are going to have a fully decentralized financing system that is accepted globally. And all of these things run on blockchain technology. So positioning yourself to understand just a portion of this chain, is going to be a skill that is going to rake in thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands even in dollars. And these are skills that you can apply, without even having to leave the comfort of your home. And then maybe if we were to be pressed for more skills, then I think programming is something that anyone should be looking towards if they want to make money on and offline as well.
All right, so some players are going to probably be watching and asking themselves, "Ah, man, it looks like the skills you have mentioned are kind of way out of the league." Some people just want some basic skills. Can't we sell basic skills like voiceover? Like, all right, so just give us a run through of other skills that definitely can be sold online. Just give us 5, 10.
So let me start by saying that you can sell anything online. Any skill can be sold online. Yeah. So I mentioned these skills because maybe I should have said that the skills I mentioned initially, they are high value skills. High value because they are the sort of skills you would have that will earn you the most amount of money in the shortest possible time. However, when I started making money off the internet, I did not exactly have these skills. I still don't know much about blockchain technology. Um, I can't say that I am very much versed as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, but there are so many other skills that go on that are available on the internet that you can sell on the internet. One of them would be voiceovers, as you said. Graphics design is another skill that continues to sell, but I think I will put a twist on graphic design and say motion graphics design because today a lot of businesses want to stand out, and it is not enough, to just design your normal or your basic graphics with Corel Draw or even Photoshop. There has to be some sort of twist to it, which means that graphic designers who understand 2D and 3D are going to make more money on the internet than those who, just understand the usual one-dimensional drawings. So 3D graphics design, video motion graphics design, video editing. These are skills that are going to be that are still super relevant as far as making money off the internet is concerned. Data entry, yes. So data entry is very vastly different from data science, data management, data visualization. Now, this is a very basic skill that anybody can do with a short knowledge or small knowledge of Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. It basically means taking data from somewhere and putting it into a document. Anybody can actually, pull off this skill. And I think when we talk about skills, we must also not forget that a skill can be knowledge based. It doesn't have to be something that you manually have to design, like graphics design or video editing, for example. So in that sense, I would love to talk about coaching or consulting. In 2020, I did a rundown of some of the skills that were trending as at 2020 September, which was still in the heat of the pandemic. And I mentioned dating consulting or date coaching, and that came from the fact that there are lots of people who struggle with finding dates, men and women who struggle with finding people of the opposite sex or who struggle with finding partners. And then there are some people who naturally are the go-to persons for their friends when it comes to relationship and dating advice. And I encourage people at the time to look inward and if you are that person that your friends come to when they have boyfriend and girlfriend issue, and you give them an advice, and maybe it works, or you have an idea of what would bring two people together that will make them a perfect fit for a date. Maybe you want to go into dating consulting. And someone took up that challenge at the time, set up a profile on LinkedIn, created a one-page website for herself, and in about 3 to 4 months, I got my tithe from her biggest
Wonderful.
client yet. So there are so many things, so many skills that you could sell, and coaching consulting is one of those things. And um, I wouldn't I wouldn't go as far as saying that just anybody can be a coach or a consultant. But the point is that there are knowledge that you have, that people have, that you could refine and package into a product that you will sell on the internet. And probably too numerous to mention. But I think another skill that anybody can make money off of would be virtual assistant
Yeah.
skills. And just about anybody can do this, and usually from the comfort of their house as well. So I also know someone who earns twice what she earns from a 9 to 5 by being a virtual assistant, and I think she's considering quitting her 9 to 5 as well, just to focus on being a virtual assistant on online and all. So yeah, essentially, as I mentioned, anything can be a skill, and any skill can sell on the internet. You just have to be creative. You have to think outside the box, and you have to keep an open mind, of course, about whether what you know and what you can do is sellable online. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes.
Awesome. If there's one thing that you can pick from all the Julius has said, is that there's a lot of money online, and there are people online looking for solutions. So if that skill that you have can meet their needs, solve their problems, then definitely it can be sold online. If that skill you have, that experience you have, that knowledge you have, can actually solve a problem for somebody, then you can definitely make money online with it. So we've looked at skills. Now, Julius, let's talk about platforms. Give us the
Yeah.
top 5, top 10 platforms that people can actually, because you mentioned positioning also. One of the things that comes with positioning has to do with where you stay, where people can easily access you, easily see you. So what are the platforms, the freelancing platforms that are very organized, that people can actually position themselves on today for easy visibility, and of course to sell the skills that they have?
So I'll start with one that even freelancers are using. Freelancers and non-freelancers are using, and for me, it's one of the most. It should be the most popular and possibly one of the largest job platform in the world, and that's LinkedIn. LinkedIn
LinkedIn.
because yeah, I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
only
it's
two
still
jobs on
prevalent enough
LinkedIn. Two
already.
jobs.
2 jobs. And
Yeah.
let me give you an interesting story. I know someone. We're not exactly friends, just acquaintances, um, who has never applied for a job her entire life. He has never, um, gone online to Jobberman or Hot Nigeria Jobs or Indeed or something to look for a job. She has changed positions 7 different times, and every single one of the opportunities she has gotten have come off of LinkedIn. So
Wow.
there are so many opportunities on LinkedIn. Now, if you want to make money online, go to LinkedIn, create a profile, you know, um, optimize your profile with the skills that you have, with the experiences that you possess, the qualifications, academic and professional that you have, and then start networking, which is, I think, one of the things that most people who want to make money online fail to do. The internet, the digital world that we live in, is not vastly different from the physical one in terms of social interaction, which means
Absolutely.
that the more people you know and the quality of the interactions you have with people digitally, the more opportunities that will come your way. The same way it happens in real life. So
True.
get on LinkedIn and start creating connections. I think the terms that are used in LinkedIn, they don't you don't have friends on LinkedIn, you have connections, and then you have people in your network. I think those were deliberately chosen so that it is easy to understand that you must make connections on LinkedIn and create a network for yourself, and then the opportunities might begin to flow if you do it right. But LinkedIn is one of the biggest platforms, and then my personal all-time favorite would be Upwork. Why not?
Upwork.
Because that's where I've made the most as a freelancer. So Upwork is the world's largest freelance marketplace. There are thousands of opportunities on Upwork on a daily basis in different spaces, in different sectors, in different industries. There are clients from all over the world. There are freelancers also from all over the world. But getting on Upwork is the first step. The next step will then be again to optimize your profile and then to get to work hustling clients and hustling projects. Because the honest truth is, in a space as congested as that, jobs come at a premium, but you have to be willing to put in the work by making your profile on Upwork stand out. And then, of course, I guarantee that the opportunities there are so many for you. Other platforms would be, depending on what you're looking for, but other platforms might be people per hour. Now, most of these platforms, apart from LinkedIn, which is a network place, a networking place, they are platforms where you can get a job or meet a client, get a job, and get paid in on the same platform. So most of the time, you will get paid in foreign currency, which is something we'll talk about later in this conversation. But people per hour may be discouraging to people because it is a Europe-centric platform. However, there are people from all over the world who are on that platform. And as long as you are able to create a payment system where your money comes to you, then there are opportunities to be had as well. And then a fourth platform, I have about 10 or 15 of them in my book, but a fourth one will be freelancer.com and then Fiverr. I don't think people utilize Fiverr enough in this part of the world, maybe because the platform has become a bit difficult to navigate and utilize over the past few years. But Fiverr is one of the easiest places, to start a freelance journey, because there you can build up your reputation fast, build up a portfolio fast by doing jobs for as low as $5 for clients all over the world, just so that you can build a portfolio fast for those who do not have a portfolio. So there's Fiverr, there's freelancer.com. And then for the tech bros, for those who are into tech, there are so many platforms, that offer remote jobs or freelance jobs for those who are in tech. And one of them, I think, is Jubble, JOOBLE.co, Jubble.co. And there's one more that is just at the top of my head, but I can't remember it right now. That is specifically for those who are in tech. So yeah, that's 7. And then there's just a lot more. If you go on Google, damn, you have so many platforms. But then again, let me quickly warn before we leave this particular topic, that when you do a search, before you start hawking your skills, before you start marketing your skill on a particular platform, you must check that if you do get a job on the platform, your work, your effort is protected by the legal guarantees that are on the platform, and most importantly, that your money at the end of the day is going to come to you. So that what happened to me in 2017 will not happen to you in 2022.
All right, there's so much of that you're going to learn if you read Julius's book. I mean, you're going to get more platforms, from reading Julius's book. You're going to learn more mistakes that Julius made at the beginning of his own, venture into freelancing, so that you can actually, just find your way around some of those pitfalls. But let's quickly talk about this, Julius. What are the common pitfalls, that people who desire to become freelancers? What are the common pitfalls they should avoid? Just give us 3 of them.
Okay, so the first one is starting unprepared. So for me, I started unprepared, and that was a huge mistake. And without the support of my friend, I would have been discouraged based off of that one mistake that I made, of not knowing what freelancing was about, of not knowing how the different platforms work, of not knowing, what skill set I wanted to market, of not knowing the mistake of not knowing that I needed a legal document, a contract of sorts, to protect my work, of not knowing that a client sometimes has to pay money into an escrow account to secure my effort in doing that job. So the first mistake that a lot of people would make going to freelancing is starting unprepared. And starting unprepared means not understanding the business of the business that you are going to do. And what that essentially entails is that before you go to freelancing, you must have, of course, decided on the skill that you want to market. You must have um, package the service out that you want to market us online.
Oh, all right. So quickly, we lost Julius. That must be due to some network glitch, and we're just gonna hold on a little while Julius joins the conversation back. But if there's something you ought to have picked from this discussion, it is that it is very possible today than at any other time in the existence of man to make money online. It means wherever you are, whatever country you are, be it Nigeria, anywhere in Africa, anywhere in Asia, you can actually stay in the comfort of your home, sit behind a mobile phone, a mobile device, and make money working for people in different economies, and of course earning the top currencies in the world. One of the things that Julius emphasized, that you must have a skill, because what this is about is how to sell your skill online. So it means you must possess a skill. The online platform is already available. He has mentioned about 7 to 10 platforms where you can position yourself. The platforms have been designed, but what exactly are you bringing to the platform to sell? That is what will connect you as a seller to a buyer. All right, so good to have you back.
So the second pitfall that I would mention would be that a lot of people go online to start making money without having a clear understanding of the market in which they want to work, and that is, a fault of the the mentality, the motivation for wanting to go online and actually earn some income. For some people, it's a case of just going out there to make money, which is not a bad reason to go online and make money, because at the end of the day, everyone is trying to make money for the sake of making money. However, sometimes um, we don't understand, how the market works. I would use the cryptocurrency market for an example. So someone wants to acquire a skill to earn money online, and then without having an in-depth understanding of how blockchain technology works, they go on to buy Bitcoin, they buy Ethereum, they buy shitcoin, and then some of them hoard. They hoard it to sell when price is higher, and then they also trade it, like the same way you trade forex. But the problem with this mentality is that sometimes, without understanding the way the market works, now in this case, I'm actually talking about the cryptocurrency market, just like the foreign exchange market, you are likely to lose out on your money, on your investment, on your time and your resources in that particular space. And that is what happens to a lot of people who go online just to make money. So, if I did not understand how writing works, for instance, I could have been wasting my time in a niche that is not my own, in a niche that I could not be productive in, and then after a few years or few months of non-productivity, I would just quit in by claiming that, oh, it's online, doesn't make any money. I've been there, I've tried it, but I didn't really understand how my market works, and that would have been a challenge. And the third pitfall would be not understanding teaching. A lot of people consider themselves capable of doing everything and anything. That is good. That is a bonus to have. It's a value to have. Being able to adapt to any situation. But if you're going to make money online, it is important that you find your level, find your space, find your niche, and your niche will then be the place where you are most productive in, the place where you can, with one eye closed, or maybe with both eyes closed, you can deliver results and outputs that will cause people to give you their hard-earned money. So niching or not niching is one of the biggest mistakes that newbie freelancers would make. I made the mistake at the start, I learned the hard way, and now I'm telling you, do not make that a mistake.
All right, so I want to take you back a little, and we're going to get to the part with EVU. We're talking about getting skilled, because one very key thing to making money online is that you must have something you bring to the table, which is your skill. So the point is, if I do not have a skill that there is a market for, and I want to get skilled, how many weeks, months do you think that it takes me to get to the point of mastery? When I say mastery, I do not mean you're all good, nothing more to learn, but simply saying to a certain level where you can begin to trade the skill for money online. How long does it take?
So one of the things that I learned early is that, well, maybe not so early, but is that there are different levels of expertise. There are different levels of mastery, which is why you hear things like grandmaster. Someone who has gotten to the zenith of mastery that there's nothing else to master. At that point they are teaching and tutoring and mentoring. But the point is, you can pick up a skill today and start making money off of it today. It all boils down to your attitude, your aptitude, and your application. Let me give an example with myself. Um, when it comes to web design, I'm not an expert. By no means am I an expert in web design. However, when I was building my first website, my current website, juliusomafunu.com, is in its third iteration. The first appearance of my website, the second and the third ones were designed by me, all by myself. And I designed that website in the space of 3 to 4 hours by watching YouTube videos. And I've made some money off website design as well, you know, with the skill and the experience that I gained from designing mine. But how a person or how quickly a person can pick up a skill is ultimately going to depend on their ability to, download the experiences from that skill, to download the competencies from that skill and begin to apply it. So you could pick up a skill and start making money off of it in 24 hours, in a week, in a month, in 3 months, depending on the complexity of the skill, and depending, of course, also on your ability to assimilate. What is important is that at every level of your competence, at every level of your expertise, there is a market for you. So, sticking with the web design example, you could learn how to design a website by using templates, your WordPress, your Elementor templates, and the rest of them. Those are very fantastic ways of building a website. You don't need to know coding, you don't need to know programming, you don't need to know how to write a script to build a website. That is one level of expertise in a skill set. There is a whole market for that. But someone who wants to build an interactive website, where computations take place, for instance, like a website where you have figures of the stock exchange markets for the day, where you have the charts, live charts, and all that, requires a different level of expertise. And then at that point, you may want to learn programming, coding, script writing, and the rest of it. So at the end of the day, yeah, you can pick up skill and make money off of it today, as long as you apply yourself to it. The important thing is to identify the market that is ready for your level of expertise in that skill set.
All right, absolutely beautiful. All right, so now as we draw the discussion to a close, I'm just going to ask you, for somebody watching this video, say from USA, from UK, they may not have the issue of payments, because PayPal works just very fine in those clients. But for somebody watching this video from Africa, one of the challenges they are going to likely face, working as a freelancer, is payment. So just give us a little intro into the world of international payments, how to go around it, the challenges you're going to face and all that.
So one of the, I wouldn't say it's a curse, one of the downsides of being a freelancer in Africa, in Nigeria to be specific, is that you face the problem of payment. You face payment challenges so much, and that is because a lot of the clients are going to pay you in dollars, not going to pay you in euros or in, other foreign currencies. They are not going to pay you in your bank account like a Nigerian client would do. They will not make a bank transfer and just send you your bank sharp. They would want to pay you using payment gateways and payment systems that they are familiar with. Now, these are payment systems and payment gateways that are not fully functional, if at all they are functional, in Nigeria and in many parts of Africa. PayPal is the biggest case in point. PayPal in Nigeria and in Africa and most parts of Africa allows you to receive money from a client, but does not allow you to withdraw your money from PayPal account to your local account. The only thing you can do is to spend the money via a PayPal payment portal, on a purchase online or something. And that's a very serious issue, as most clients abroad would choose PayPal as their first option of payment to you. But there are there are ways to get your money, you know, from your international clients who are going to pay you in foreign currency. The first of them is to attend to, to reach an agreement. There are very many reasonable clients who wouldn't mind the stress, who wouldn't mind, you know, the process because it's difficult for them. Let's be honest and let's be fair. It's difficult for a client in the US, for instance, to do a bank transfer to a vendor in Nigeria because they have to answer a lot of questions about why they are paying, a Nigerian some amount of money into the bank account. So if you can find a client who pays you directly to your domiciliary account, that is super helpful. So having a dom account helps because some clients want to pay you directly to your dom account. But in the case where that does not work, one of the more popular options will be Payoneer. Payoneer is a platform that allows you to receive money in all sorts of currencies. You can receive money in euros, in dollars, in British pounds, and what have you. And then they also allow you to withdraw your money to your Naira account or to your domiciliary account. And then, of course, they give you the option of having a debit card that you can spend or you can use anywhere in the world. The downside to that is you need to have a certain amount of money in your Payoneer account before you are eligible for their debit card. But it is a fantastic option to receive money in hard currency and also to get your money out. Another option would be to use some local payment solutions. What I mean by local payment solutions is that there are some fintech products, in Nigeria that allows you to generate an invoice in the sense that you more or less create a payment link with the amount of money a client is supposed to pay you, and you send it to the client, and then they use their debit card to pay you whatever it is that they owe you. The downside with this arrangement is the payment company. I think Flutterwave has this service. As you mentioned that. Then Cellular.co has a similar service as well. The downside is these companies would convert your USD into Naira at the official exchange rate, which is not the worst thing to happen. Let's be honest as well. Considering the circumstances in which we find ourselves, it's not the worst thing to happen. But some people may want to receive their money in USD so they can do a conversion themselves in the black market. That is fine. In that case, then you want to think of using payment solutions like MoneyGram, like Western Union. I think these are the easiest and most straightforward ways to get your money out.
All right, beautiful. So much already said about how to earn in dollars, in pounds, in euro, at currencies. Selling your skills online. So quickly, as we bring this to a wrap, can we talk about your book? Let's talk about your book, Unlocking the Secrets to Freelancing. What exactly inspired the book, and what's the book about? Now, I'm just sounding like someone who have not read the book. I've read the book, and it's one of the best books I've read on freelancing. But just talk to me like I've not heard about the book, and you want to just give me an intro into what the book is about.
So, Unlocking the Secrets of Freelancing was written for everyone who is seeking to make money online but has never done so before, has no idea how the business of online money making works. And for those, of course, who are looking to scale, to grow from making $100 every now and then to making consistent $1,000 periodically. So I was motivated to write that book because when I first started out and I made a few $1 trying to find my way, I figured that I have to ask questions of those who were already in the game, But nobody was willing to give me all the answers. Maybe because they didn't have all the answers as well. So I found that I had to go to different sources to put together these resources. How do I start a writing business? How do I get clients in a writing business? How do I get paid in a writing business? How do I protect my contract in this business? How do I prepare a job proposal? So I'm making money from this platform. How do I make money from the other platforms? I had to check multiple sources, and some of these things I learned from experience. But then it occurred to me that not everyone has to go through all of that. There's no single one single answer to all the questions you would have about freelancing. However, it helps if you have a comprehensive solution to the most common problems you face as a freelancer. And so I put together this book, to um, guide anyone who wants to do freelancing from the beginning, how you start, how you identify what skill to market, to the point where you build a whole team supporting your business. The book is basically from bottom to top. From bottom to top. It teaches all the steps, the processes, and the procedures of starting and scaling. And I call it, it unlocks the secrets because it's a very revealing book because I shared all the things that I know. I shared all the things that I learned. There are templates in the book that guide freelancers on how to shape this particular step, how to write this particular contract, how to write your perfect pitch and all that things. So it's very revealing. I don't think I held anything back when I was writing, and it truly unlocks many of the secrets in this business of online money making.
All right, awesome. If you have listened to Julius for more than 1 hour, then Julius knows a lot about freelancing. We're going to add the link to the book in the description section so that you can click on the link and get a copy of the book. It's going to help you scale fast in the world of freelancing. It's also going to expose you to some of the mistakes that Julius made that you can avoid now that you're starting out as a freelancer. And some of the things that people like Julius, myself, got done in say 1 year, 2 years, with a book like this, you're going to have leverage such that you can get them done, within a short period of time. Thank you so much, Julius, for being part of this conversation. So quickly, I'm going to display Julius's Facebook and Instagram links so that if you want to follow Julius, check on Instagram, check on Facebook at Julius Omokono, and you will find Julius. And I tell you, you're going to find a lot of insightful and useful posts on his pages that will help you move from wherever you are now to where you want to be. Thank you so much, Julius, for being a part of this first episode of Fireside Chat, where we have been looking at how to earn money online selling your skills. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
This is super delicious, man. Thanks for having me.
Hopefully, when we ask you to come around again, I hope that you will oblige us with your presence. It's been wonderful.
For sure. I'll leave that for service. Thank you so much once again for hosting me today.
All right, if you've been part of this first episode of Fireside Chat, we'll be looking at how to earn money in foreign currency, trading your skills online. I want to say thank you for watching this far. If you got value so far from this broadcast, like this video, share this video with somebody who also needs to hear the message in this video about freelancing. And of course, you want to consider subscribing to this channel. We're going to have so much of this kind of conversations every month, and of course every week also I release one video at least about how to start business, how to grow your business, how to scale in your business, or how to go around personal development and career discussions, career issues. You want to subscribe so that you can get a hold of all of those subsequent videos. There are a ton of video already in the gallery that you can also go binge on right now. And of course, for some of you wanting to develop a skill, the skill of writing, you want to improve on your writing skill, or you do not know how to write but you're interested in learning how to write, I'm also going to add a link in the description section that has about 4 to 5 videos that I taught sometimes early this year on how to improve your writing skills and how to become a better writer and a professional writer. All right, till I see you again in another edition of Fireside Chat. I want to tell you that it is possible to earn or to be whatever you desire to be if you're ready to put in the work. Stay legendary. I'll see you in my next video.